first of all, to understand, dimensions are not realms. And sometimes we do that confusion. We have that conflict when we say first dimension, and some people say, oh, the minerals. No. They're not realms, and they are not divided. A dimension is basically, the word dimension means a measurement of two. So something that divides in two, so you can measure two sides. That's a dimension in Latin. So what is a dimension? Is a measurement of 2 points of view, meaning that every dimension is just a measurement of only one thing that you are just dividing once and again to get the understanding of it. So it's basically something that we call science. Science means, the word science means to cut. The dimensions are cutting stuff so you can get it, so you can understand it. So basically, the first dimension is the measurement of the one, understanding that everything is only one thing, and there's only one reality that you can only measure by the amount of one. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't have any perspective. It's just one. Unity. So that same thing also can be seen from two perspectives, which is positive and negative. This positive and negative creates the polarity that manifests two options of the unity, called time and space. So through time and space, the unity will be expressed. When time and space collapse to one another, they create the third one, which is the option of experiencing a third different point of that only unity. So it's basically the unity staring at itself and experiencing itself. Then you have the fourth dimension, which is the frequency in which that thing is happening, meaning time. So the fourth dimension is basically how many times this is happening, when it's going to be repeated. Basically, the fourth dimension is the process of the experiencing. As the only one thing starts to spin, that spinning is the fourth dimension. Then the awareness of that spinning is the fifth dimension, where all the data that you are living is recorded. The sixth dimension is, oh, now that I am aware of this, I can transform it into something different. So I can use the awareness of the fifth dimension, the spinning of the fourth dimension, the experience in the third dimension, and the polarity in the second dimension to transform the first dimension. So that's the sixth dimension. And once you get the transformation of that, you become enlightened because you understand you are transforming your own reality. That's the seventh dimension, the place where the archangels live, which basically they are not beings with wings, is actually sounds resounding so hard that covers the entire universe, and is the resonance, the vibration of the understanding of the whole through times and space. And when that expansion from the seventh dimension gets to converge to itself, creates the eighth dimension, which is eternity. So eternity is that every being is living everything, and you can perceive every timeline and every possible reality, which brings you to the complete understanding of every one of the parts, and that's the ninth dimension, which is the divine. So the ninth dimension is the I get it, I am. And the ninth dimension takes you to the oneness again, the first dimension.
Is it like
the one dimension doesn't have consciousness of itself.
Okay.
Simply is. In the ninth dimension, it has awareness. The ninth dimension is, oh, I am.
I am that I am.
Exactly. The thing is that also to understand this is not that you have to go from one dimension to another to reach the ninth. The only way you can reach the ninth is through the sixth and the third. So the ninth dimension can be only comprehended by the ability to transform, sixth dimension, the third dimension, which is the matter. So you can only reach God from the third dimension. There's no way to reach God from the second or the fourth or the eighth. The only way to reach it is by living in the third dimension. And that's why all the beings needs to create an experience in order to assimilate all the other dimensions. And when they reach to transform from the sixth dimension, the third dimension, you become the creator. That's why it's not like you are in the third dimension and you have to go to the fourth dimension. I've heard many people saying we are going to the fifth dimension. No, we are not going, because it's a dimension, it's not a place. So you never go to the fifth dimension. You understand the fifth dimension from the third dimension. You just simply change your perspective of who you are. That's how you change dimensions. So it's not that you leave the third to go to the fifth.
Are they like spheres encompassing one another?
It's the same thing. It's just like if you have one only thing and you're doing this.
Yeah.
Is that. It's not different layers. You can try to understand it as layers. Your mind will try to put it in a way that you can understand it.
Right.
Like, like layers of the earth. Not exactly. It's like all at once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are I've heard you speak to the 4 stages of the processes of the realization. Can you explain that and how that pertains to the understanding of the dimension?
That's the fourth dimension, which is the process of the whole thing. Every being in existence needs to go through these 4 stages, which is expression, experimentation, integration, and transcendence. And it doesn't have to be very philosophical. An expression is just a spark. Experimentation is the fire and the burning. Integration is ashes and, again, a spark. And transcendence is the heat. So that's a way of transcend. It's like before you burned, but now you are giving heat to someone or enlightening someone that needed the fire. So transcend is go beyond your shape or what you can do and become a part of someone else. So that's how would be the process, for example, for the fire.
Yeah.
The water does, solid, liquid, these different states. So in a person's life, it's about do something creative or do something, whatever, an action, and experience that, and then integrate what you have learned from that. And then transcend would be to let it go so others can do something new with that. So it depends, but the process is constantly that.
One of the Hermetic principles in understanding is to escape the pains of the lower planes. You operate on the higher ones. In many ways, to have these higher understandings, we have to raise our vibration. What does that mean? How do we do it?
Okay, first, raise your vibration doesn't mean to get out from the lower vibration. It means to rise up the lower vibration. What this means, that usually we commit the mistake of saying, this is all low vibration for me. I have to live in a very high vibration, so I have to get out from this and to be there in the spirit. Well, actually, the system is a closed system, meaning that as higher you go up, the faster you go down. So there's no going up without going down at the same speed. So
very much like a tree, the roots can't go, the branches can't go high if the roots don't go deep.
Exactly. It can fall down and die very soon.
Yeah.
So basically the low vibration is the one that holds you in existence. And the high vibration is the one that expands you to any existence. So if you just go to the high vibration, you will expand, but it won't be easy for you to manifest.
Is this why a lot of people in the spiritual communities who try to vibrate higher broke and don't seem to be doing very well physically here in this dimension?
Because of course in the fifth dimension it's perfect, but in the third dimension you have to eat, you have to sleep, and some people forget about that. When you see a plant, the first thing that a plant does, roots, go deep and deep, because in the darkness you find the minerals to absorb the water, the emotion, to absorb. And with that, the links that you expand to everyone around. And that's the branches. So you create your center, you expand your branches with love, and you open yourself to receive information through the leaves. So you create a fruit, but the fruit is not the goal. The goal of the fruit is to nourish the seed.
Mm.
And where the seed goes? Down to the ground, to the darkness again, to create a new tree.
Yeah.
So the whole project of reaching the light is just to go back to the darkness. And nature shows you that in a very beautiful way all the time. And we are just trying to escape. Like those plants that just flotate and go from one branch to another, that those are parasites.
Yeah.
So because they are living from the life of others. So if you want to be a tree, the tree of life in the universe, must be a balance between both sides. So what is to rise your vibration is basically to allow yourself to transform constantly in that process, to evolve, to transform, not to get stuck in the same pattern all the time.
Yeah.
When we talk about rising your vibration, is not to leave something behind, is to understand it in a different way so you can use it properly. And that would be rising your vibration. Is expand your mind to understand different options of why you have to leave this darkness, or why you have this problem, or these kind of things. Because usually problems, darkness, bad experiences are the minerals, the salts that you need to grow up. So when we go deep into the darkness to try to understand it, we can figure out the nourishment of that, of what we needed to reach the light. A tree only grows because of what is in the soil.
Yeah.
Is to change your perspective, to open yourself to new understandings of who you are, of why do you live this reality, and not to get stuck in the same point of view all the time. And how can you use this reality to improve, to evolve? That's rising your vibration.